Hey guys! So I just wanted to do some vlogging today, and I could kick myself in the butt because I filmed an entire get ready with me, which, I mean, I know it looks like I didn't do anything, but my hair looked nice. I put a little bit of makeup on for church this morning. So like I did a whole, get ready with me, and I chatted. It was like 30 minutes, and which is crazy because usually it takes me like 10 minutes to get ready, but just because I was talking, it was like 30 minutes. And I forgot to turn my microphone on. That is the second time I've done that. I am like, Darragh, stop doing that. But anyway, I didn't want to like completely give up because I still wanted to do like a get unready with me tonight. So I thought I would just vlog a little bit here in my room because I'm going to put all my clean clothes away because I have 3 full laundry baskets of clothes that need to be most of them are already folded, but either finished folding and putting away. But I figured we would just chat for a little bit while I'm doing that. And someone suggested about me getting a microphone. I really would love to get a microphone because it would be perfect for times like this, like when I'm on that side of the room. Because I'm not quite sure how well this microphone picks up. I've tested it just like a little bit, but I'm not a tech camera microphone, connoisseur genius at all. I'm very, very new to any type of filming equipment, so I'm still learning. And I didn't want to just purchase a microphone without really doing my due diligence and looking into it and researching it. So I did a little bit of research and I found some this morning, but I would like to watch a couple videos on people who like do vlogging styles and like what they use and whatnot, because I'd really rather get something that's like tried and true versus just find something on Amazon that's 20 bucks and then it not work with my camera or be like cheap or something, because I'm very much a quality over quantity person. So I'd rather invest in something. I mean, I don't want to spend a bunch of money, but I feel like if I find something that's like $75 to $100, I'm totally fine with spending that for a really good microphone that I can wear on me, that will connect with my camera, that works well and lasts, the charge lasts a while and everything. Like I'm fine with paying like $50, $75 to $100 for that, but I just want to make sure I buy the right one the first time, because I don't want to be exchanging it or have something break on me in a month or two and then I just have to rebuy it anyway. You know what I mean? So I'm looking into that. If you guys know of any microphones that will work for a camera, not a phone. So my camera jack is the one, I have no idea what it's called, but it's like the old time microphone jacks when, like we used to plug our iPods in, like that long stick looking thing instead of like the USB-C or the iPhone type plug-in. It has to look like that to work with my camera. My camera has a bunch of different plugins in the back, but the one that says microphone specifically looks like that. So I think I have to use that one for the microphone. And that's what this one is. This one's mounted on top of my camera and it has, it plugs in the back like that. So I'm looking for something that's like Bluetooth that will fit like that. And when I was looking at first, everything that was popping up was like iPhone or Android or, like iPad, that kind of stuff, like plug-in. It wasn't really like specifically designed for a camera. So personally, I'd rather use that because I'd rather have the Bluetooth microphone and then still use my mounted microphone for certain things. Like if I'm going to be right here at all times, I'm fine with using that. But this would be a really great time where I could use that so I could like walk around and talk. But instead what I'm going to do is just change the angle and move the camera over to that area so you can hear me. But the first thing I'm going to do is make my bed. So I'm going to leave the camera like this first because I didn't do that this morning. And as you can see, it needs to be made. So, I mean, I just changed the sheets and the blankets and everything yesterday so they're nice and clean. But I just haven't, when I got up, I was like, let's go. Well, we got to go to church. I'm going to be late. You know what I mean? So let me make the bed real quick and then I'll change the angle and then we'll fold and then we'll chat because I have all kinds of stuff to say that some I already said this morning, but you never got to hear. And then other new things have come up. So I want to talk about that too. So be right back. So it's funny because I always fold this blanket and put it up at the bottom of the bed to make it look nice, but like every night I wind up getting cold and just bringing it up to the top of the bed and using it. So like every morning it's really messed up. But here on the mid-east coast in the U.S., I live in Maryland, the weather is in that weird stage where it's not really hot, it's not really cold. Well, I mean, it's hot during the day, but it's cold at night. That's what I meant to say. And anyone who lives in Maryland or near Maryland knows that our weather is very unpredictable. I mean, and our weather range varies a lot. Like it can only be 95 during the day, but 45 at night. That's Fahrenheit. So, I mean, it can be like, the range can be so much. When I used to visit my husband in England, it would be colder there. Like, during the summer, it'd be like, their hottest temperature is like 75. And that's still kind of like pretty hot there. But then like at night, it'd be like 60. So it didn't really like change a lot. And I mean, different seasons obviously changes a little more. But like in the summer, I felt like the temperature was quite consistent compared to what I'm used to. So if you live in England, which 5% of my viewers do, so hello, I feel like to you it might be like a change, but someone coming from this area to over there, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like the same temperature all day, like all night, like, you know, like 24/7. Whereas over here, I'm like, I'm waking up, I'm bundled up, I'm cold. In the middle of the day, I'm like trying to take everything off, I'm hot. And then like the evening comes around and you're like, you just have to keep having layers, and then it'll just randomly rain for like 3 minutes and then stop. So it's like you always have to have an umbrella. And in England, you always have to have an umbrella, but that's really just because it actually just rains every day. Some of the time, I mean, I heard that as like a stereotype, but when I went over there to visit him, it was great. I'm pretty sure those times where I'd be over there for like 15 days and there would not be a day it didn't rain. Now, it didn't necessarily rain all day and all night or anything, but at some point in the day, for some period of time, it rained. And that's the south of England. And so like we were just, you know, it'd be like really nice. I'm like, hey, let's go do this. Let's go do that. And like you look at the phone and like it's like clear skies, no rain. I'm like, finally, one day, no rain. Like 2 p.m. randomly just rain, 45 minutes. You're just like, what? Like, and then just stops. And then it looks like it didn't even rain. I'm just like, what's going on here? So something else I've been doing, if you've been keeping up with my project pan, I have 2 of these, a small one and a like ginormous one from Lush. It's the Lord of Misrule smell, which they describe as a black pepper, earthy patchouli, and warm vanilla smell. I love this smell a lot. I mean, since they ever first came out with it, which was probably like 5 years ago or something. I've been a Lush fan since over 10 years, probably 15 years now I've been a Lush fan. But it's definitely like, I've definitely reeled back. I used to be super into it. It's too much into it. And I mean, it used to be a lot more affordable than it is now, so it wasn't so bad. But now it's gotten so out of control with the pricing. And that was one of the things. In England, my husband lived very, very close to the flagship Lush store in Poole. It's the 29 High Street. And I got to go there twice. And that was so awesome. Like, I literally walked there from his house. I mean, it took me like 45 minutes, but I walked there from his house once when some of the days when I would go visit, he would have to work. So, like, I didn't really have much to do. And I was like, wait a minute, 29 High Street is, like, it's Poole. And he lived in Poole. And I was like, wait, I wonder if I could walk there. And I could. So I went there twice that time that I visited. And that was so great. It's such a tiny store. Like, I'm used to the ones here, the ones here are all different sizes. Small, medium, and large. Like, you can go into a Lush and be like, this is a closet. Then you can go into Lush and be like, this is a Walmart. You know what I mean? It's just, I'm like, who's designing these? Who's picking? Like, there's no, like, cohesiveness when it comes to the size. I mean, they all have the same products, but I do like the larger stores just because they're usually pretty crowded. So it's a little easier to go to each of the different areas, like, you know, the hair stuff or the face stuff or whatever. And I used to use pretty much only Lush products on everything for a long time. I mean, I like that they have a lot of solid options. I try to gravitate towards solid stuff. I mean, I've gotten away from that recently because since moving here 3 years ago, I'm so far from a Lush, and there's no other natural, even like a natural food store that has solid items. But also too, I tried a few from those types of stores and I really didn't like them. I really prefer like the Atique stuff or the Lush stuff. And I've also tried the Kitsch. I tried their shampoo and conditioner. I didn't love it, but I mean, I think it's a decent option. But at the time I was also having like a lot of hair fall, and I felt like rubbing the shampoo bar on my hair like manually just wasn't good. I mean, I don't think that the shampoo had anything to do with me losing my hair or anything, but I just feel like, because I was already having a lot of hair fall, it like psychologically, it made me feel like I'm doing more damage because I'm like rubbing something on there, you know what I mean? So I kind of strayed away from it. I mean, I did finish it, but I didn't repurchase it. I do, however, love their shave bar. Their shave bar is like next level. That is one thing where I had that, and I did actually use it every time. But every time I try it, I always convince myself, I'm like, I'm gonna actually use a shaving cream this time. You know, like, no, I don't. I hate shaving cream. Like, I never ever use it, no matter which one I've used, no matter the smell, no matter the brand. I just do not like them. Like, I remember in high school, it was like those foamy ones. It's like the Skintimate foamy ones. Those are like, everybody used that. Didn't use them then either, you know what I mean? But I will say the Kitsch shave bar was very nice. It is very, just, how would I explain it? It's almost like a in-shower conditioner, but for your body. Like, I feel like you could even just use it on your body, but I did mainly use it to shave. And I do use an old-time safety razor, so that, I feel like that worked really well. That's something I want to incorporate into one of my videos. Maybe my next, like, project pan update or something. So I'm getting out of breath. Like, I'm lazy. I'm out of breath. All I did was make my bed and talk. You know what I mean? Anyway, I do want to one day incorporate my razor into my videos, just because I've used a safety razor for a long time now, over 5 years. Not this same one. This one that I bought since I've lived here, so it's less than 3 years old. Because the one I had before was the Kitsch, but it broke, and I dropped it in the shower and I have an cast iron tub, so it broke. Problem, because I mean, I don't feel like it was cheaply made or anything, but it did drop in, 5 feet down in the cast iron tub. But the one I have now is way more heavy duty, but also more expensive. Do you need something, honey? Honey, did you need something? Did you need something?
No, I'm really sorry. I didn't need a phone for a second. I was just checking and see if anything to do.
No, it's okay. It's fine. I just thought maybe you need something.
No.
Okay. Love you. Sorry, my husband came in. He was just saying thank you for lunch, but I thought maybe you needed something in the room or something. But what was I saying? I was looking at my razor. But yeah, the one I have now is the Henson one, and it is like much heavier duty. I think is what I'm trying to say. But I did a lot of research on that. Once again, I did loads of research on that. I watched some YouTube videos. There wasn't really a lot on them, but there was a lot of people on Reddit. And I don't have a Reddit account, because overall I feel like there's a lot of badness on Reddit, and I'm kind of on the fence about how I feel about Reddit. I mean, I have gotten a lot of good information from Reddit, don't get me wrong, like from sunscreen and skincare, and like I said, like that safety razor, because there's just so many different groups on there. But I also feel like there's just a lot of not great things on Reddit that I don't even myself want to be exposed to, but let alone my daughter walk in or something when I'm searching for it and like something bad come up or something. But anyway, I said all of that to say that at some point I would like to add that into my videos, because I would just like to show you guys, like if you've ever been interested in a safety razor, if you want to find something a little bit more sustainable. For me personally, I'm on the fence about how I feel about sustainability, because I watched someone, I will link her below because I cannot remember her name. She doesn't film anymore from what I see. It's been about a year, and I wish she would. I mean, I've commented on like different videos, like, please start filming again, because I love all of your videos. Please film. But she really goes into sustainability and versus like, the plastic-free movement and stuff. Like, she really goes into that and shows that sometimes plastic is actually more sustainable than metal or glass options. Like for me personally, I can't recycle glass in my curbside recycling. And actually my curbside recycling doesn't take much. When I used to live in Columbus, Ohio, oh my gosh, it took everything. It was great. I even had compost pickup. But here, where I live in Maryland, this is a very small town in the middle of nowhere. Like, people aren't sustainable. You know, people just, it just is what it is. And I think the recycling companies don't even make enough profit to pick up here. And the unfortunate truth is that recycling is also a profit. You know, if it's not making money, they're not going to do it. They have to at least make money. So I can't really recycle much in my curbside, and metals and glass are definitely things I can't recycle. Even a lot of plastic I can't recycle. But she was saying on there about how, like, if you buy something in glass but you don't reuse it or recycle it, and also too, a lot of times even if you're putting it in your recycling, it's not actually getting recycled. Once again, I'm not an expert on this by any means. I've just been thinking about this stuff, and I mean, I've really been thinking about this stuff on and off for probably the past 5 years. It's just, I feel like I find so much conflicting information that I'm confused on what to do. You know, like, I want to do better things and keep getting better as I go, and be more conscious about what I bring into my life to be more sustainable. But at the same time, sometimes I'm confused, like, well, is that more sustainable? Is this more sustainable? But she really broke it down and made a lot of sense to me. Like, she was talking about reusable bags, like just like a cotton reusable bag, and that, I believe it was somewhere in Germany, could have been the Netherlands, I can't remember, but they did a research paper or research study on how sustainable it is. And they were like, if you use a plastic bag at the grocery store, like the one that you get from like Walmart or Target or, you know, Tesco's, wherever you shop, like that plastic bag, you would have to use the recycled bag, or sorry, the cotton reusable bag, like 10,000 times to be more sustainable than that plastic bag. And now I already have reusable bags, which is why I keep using them. I'm not going to throw them away or anything. But she was saying like a more sustainable option would be actually to just take old t-shirts you already have and make them into bags, which I know how to sew, so that would be great. I'd like to figure that out. And then if I do figure it out, I'd love to make a tutorial for you guys, because I'm sure I can break it down. As long as you can sew a semi-straight line, I can show you. Okay, so I'm sorry that the video just cut. My memory card was full. I realized I forgot to format it after this morning when I forgot to turn my microphone on. So I can't remember exactly what I was talking about, but I just went ahead and started getting my clothes organized. I have 3 huge baskets here, so I'm almost finished the first one. And I'm mainly going to do like my hanging clothes, but I'll do all my daughter's clothes and all of my like undergarments later, obviously. But I'm gonna kind of look at things as I'm going through, maybe show you guys a couple things too, but my main point of the video is just to get these things put away and, you know, clean up. And also just hang out. So let me change the angle real quick so you guys can see me and hear me a little bit better while I'm doing this. Okay, so go ahead and start putting stuff away. Start with my hanging clothes because they're just the easiest. But I wanted to tell you guys because last night we watched such a good movie, and it was called Last Breath, and it had Woody Harrelson in it, and it was watched on Peacock, if I'm not mistaken, but I can't, you might be able to watch it somewhere else too. But it was about saturation diving, which is something I find very, very fascinating. I actually have a physics degree, so for me, anything like that has to do with pressure and decompression and interesting things like that, you know, I just like things like that. But the gist of saturation diving is whenever someone dies below a certain amount, which to be honest, I can't quite remember what it is. I think it's 200 feet, but that might be wrong. But whenever they're diving under a certain amount, they have to go down slow and come back up slow because your body will essentially explode if you do it too quickly. Well, so they put you in a kind of like a bunker and have a diving bell. So they compress the diving bell, and then you stay in that compressed state the entire time you're going up and down, so you don't have to go down slow or up slow. But then once you're finished, which is usually a 30-day run, then they put everyone back up in the bunker, and then they will slowly decompress over like the next 3 days or so. And that is how they can essentially work more efficiently, is pretty much the point behind it. But it is a very dangerous job. And this movie was a true story, which I did not realize until the end. It might have said it at the beginning, I don't know, but I didn't realize until the very end. So anyway, it is a very dangerous job. And this was a true story, like I said. Whenever he went down, he wind up falling from the diving bell and his suit disconnected. So he only had like so many minutes before he was going to run out of oxygen. And essentially, long story short, he wound up not having any oxygen for 40 minutes before they could save him. And at first he was alive but unresponsive. They were like, they couldn't even believe he was alive, but they essentially thought he was brain dead. And then he actually did become responsive, and it's a true story. I mean, he lived, he was fine. And they still have absolutely no idea how or why he lived and how or why he is still responsive. But then he, like the crazy man he is, like 3 weeks later, he died again. Desaturation diving again. And I don't know about you guys, but if that happened to me, I would never go in the same zip code as a body of water. Like, I would, like, never. You would just never catch me in water again, because I would be just terrified. But it was so heartfelt because they had actual video of him at the end, like of the actual gentleman, not the actor. It had like his home video footage, and it made me tear up because he got married, and then like it showed him diving again, and the guy that he was diving with, who was Woody Harrelson's character, he said, as soon as he left the diving bell, he said, "Don't F it up this time." And I just thought that was funny. It's like, what a man thing to say. Like, the guy almost lost his life. He was down there 40 minutes without oxygen, somehow isn't brain dead, like, and then when he goes diving again, the first thing they say to him is, "Don't F it up this time." So I thought that was cute. It was a very good movie. It was a very intense, like, or not intense, I should say, like, suspenseful film. But I really, really enjoyed it. I really liked it. And it's not really the type of movie I usually go for. I'm actually a huge horror fan. I love horror. I love thrillers, mysteries, like, that kind of stuff. So yeah, that was the movie this morning, or sorry, last night. I really liked it. Not usually what I would go for, but I'm really glad that we watched it. We were just throwing something on, honestly. We're like kind of already tired, and I wasn't even sure if I was going to stay awake for the whole thing, because I think I started it at like 10, and usually I don't stay up that late, especially when I have to go to church, like Sunday evening, because I go to church. Our church isn't very early or anything, but just getting up and getting everyone ready, it still takes time. So I don't like to stay up too late on Saturday nights. But yeah, then we went to church. Then I came home and I made lunch, which our lunch was kolkanen, which is a mashed potato and cabbage dish with some chicken gravy. I made some homemade chicken gravy. It was very, very good. And I actually made last night, like I made mashed potatoes, cabbage, chicken, and gravy last night. So today I was like, I already knew that that's how I was going to use my leftovers, because usually the first night I just make mashed potatoes and cabbage, and then usually the next day I mix them together to make kolkanen. It's just kind of like an easy way to eat the same thing but feel like I'm eating something different, you know? Alright guys, so I don't have too much to say, so I think I'm going to just give this kind of a wider angle and speed this process up. just to get everything put away. But so you guys can still sort of hang out with me, and maybe this will help to encourage you if you have a pile of clean ordered clothes to get washed and put away or fold and put away. Hopefully this will inspire you and motivate you to do that too. So that is one basket down, one more to go, and then I have like some that's just filled with socks and stuff that I'm dreading, but I gotta do it. And at some point I need to throw away the socks I have that don't match. Do you guys ever feel like that? I feel like, I'm like, where are they even going? They just like disappear? Does the dryer just eat them or what? I mean, I even wash my socks in pairs to try to have, like, get them both back. It doesn't work. Found a few more things that need to be hung up. So I was actually folding so much clothes because before doing my closet declutter, I could barely fit things in there. Like my husband did, he had maybe 2 things in there, and now I can actually hang up his button-up shirts and his polos and things like that, which is really nice. Just so I mainly hang clothes so that they sort of release their wrinkles, just because for me, working at a bank, I mean, I like to look nice. Not to look perfect, but I like to look decent. To me, one of the easiest ways to look nicer is to not have any wrinkles in your clothes. So try to get them hung or folded as soon as the dryer gets done. Or, top tip, if you can't, just return the dryer back on for like 15 to 20 minutes because that will re-release the wrinkles. I don't care about like all of my clothes, like, my pajamas and t-shirts and stuff. I mean, I really couldn't care less if they were wrinkled, but for my nicer things like my sweaters and my dresses and stuff, I do prefer them to be as de-wrinkly as possible. So that is everything closet-wise. That is not my sheets. I do need to fold those up and put them in them, but I'm going to first put my folded clothes away real quick. Alright, friend, so I just finished putting everything away. The only thing I have is a few of my daughter's dresses, which I need to hang up and take up to her closet, but all of her regular clothes, mine, my husband's regular clothes, everything's put away. And I realized I know what I was about to say about this now. So this Lush Lord Mistral spray, I have 2 of them. I need to use them up. What I've been doing is spraying them on my bed and in the evening. It's very relaxing. It says it's black pepper, earthy patchouli, and warm vanilla. So it's a very, very relaxing smell. So I'm going to go ahead and spray that real quick. And then I just keep it up here where I keep my other perfumes just so I see it. Because I feel like a lot of the reason I'm not using things is because they're not in the forefront, like out of sight, out of mind, basically is what I'm saying. So I'm trying my best to get, like, I have my hand cream right there as well. So I'm just trying my best to keep things in front of me so that I can use them up. So the last thing I'm going to do this evening is kind of like a get unready with me. The first thing I'm going to do, though, is go to the bathroom and cleanse my face. I'm not going to film that because it is so loud in there with my bathroom fan that you won't even be able to hear what I'm saying. And I feel like cleansing is one of those steps where we kind of all do it the same or very similar way, so it's not really as important to actually watch me do it. But I'm going to go do that real quick, and then I will be right back to finish my skincare with you. Okay, I am back, friend. So I just washed my face. So what I did was I used the LMS cleansing balm It's the Pro Collagen Summer Bloom Cleansing Balm. I used this just on my eye area because I had mascara on. And then I used a reusable cotton round to wipe that off with warm water. Then I went in with my Revectin Gentle Cleanser, just all over. And this is really nice and gentle, but I do feel like it removes everything. So, but yeah, that's all I did for my facial cleansing. And then I'm going to first go in with this Numbuzzin toner. It's the Pure Full Calming Herb Toner. It's the Numbuzzin, it's the #1 line, which I believe is their acne line. I won't repurchase this when I'm done, but I just want to use it up. And it's not irritating my skin in any way, so I like that. But I don't feel like it really does anything besides sort of, I guess, help with maybe transepidermal water loss. But yeah, I don't dislike it or anything. I'm just a very simple person. I like to have a very simple minimalist routine. Generally, my routine is literally just a cleanser, a moisturizer, my adapalene, and sunscreen. So, and obviously I use the adapalene at night and the sunscreen during the day. But so basically I never have more than like a 3-step routine. So adding this in now makes that a 4-step routine. But I have used a little bit of it since the last update, and I want to just keep continuing to use it up. Then at night, I will go in with my moisturizer. So this is the Lightweight Daily Moisturizer by Good Molecules. So I actually like the Embryolisse, I think it's called Lait Cream Concentrate. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I love that one. That's my favorite moisturizer. When this is finished, I'll be rebuying that one. But I don't think there's anything wrong with this one. But I like to put this down first. This is basically a buffer between my skin and the adapalene. I have very, very sensitive, reactive skin, so I'd like to, but I'm also very acne and mainly not necessarily pimples, but mainly blackheads. I'm very susceptible to blackheads and whiteheads. So the adapalene really helps. And adapalene is so much less irritating than tretinoin. I actually read a lot of different medical journals showing that adapalene is essentially just as effective as just tretinoin, but much less irritating, and more people generally stay on it. So that's why I've switched back to adapalene quite a few months ago now. I was on tretinoin for quite a while. So I just like to let that sink in for just a little bit. I don't want it to be like super wet when I put my adapalene on, because you're really not supposed to put adapalene on wet skin. Have you ever heard of the term like wet, tret1 wet, I think they call it, but it basically makes the tretinoin more effective by putting it onto the wet skin. I'm assuming it helps it to get deeper into the skin or quicker into the skin. I'm not quite sure, but I don't use it that way because my skin is so sensitive and so irritated that I don't want it to be any more effective. It's effective enough as it is. So the one that I use is the Adapalene Cream, 0.1%. Now this is a prescription, but you can get this at any store. It's just Adapalene. So Differin is usually the name everyone knows, but I know La Roche-Posay has one. I think Acne Free has one. The other one that I have that I was using before I ever got on the prescription one was the Walgreens brand. But most of the ones I've seen are like a gel form, which is like just like the Differin. But this is actually like in a cream. And I think this is so much better for my dry, irritated skin. I think that the vehicle something comes in does matter. When I was on tretinoin, there was such a big difference between the cream and the gel. The gel burnt my face so bad. I mean, it felt like I was putting like 90% propyl alcohol on my skin or something. Like that's how badly it burned. But the cream did not burn. It was just too irritating over time. So I have heard that people do like a quick contact where they leave it on for just like 30 minutes and rinse it off. So if at any point I want to try tretinoin again, I might try that. But I have so much good benefits on the Adapalene, I don't feel I need to do that. And also I wanted to show you that one of the ways I'm trying to mark things is by putting a line on like where the tube bends. Because not everything can is clear, and I think that's kind of an easier way to see exactly how much I've been using up. So I just use a pea size amount like that. And then what I do is I rub it like this between these 3 fingers, and then I sort of dab it, staying away from my eyes. And then I will rub, just gently rub it in. And that moisturizer really helps to be on there first. Helps also to spread everything around a little bit better. Now I do take it up under my eyes a little bit, like an eye cream. And I don't have any problems with like any peeling or anything around my mouth or my nose. I did with tretinoin, but I don't with the dabbling. And then the last thing I'm going to do is use an occlusive, which is this, my Elizabeth Arden, the original 8-hour cream. I personally just like the Aquaphor one, but I have this, so I'm going to use it up. I pretty much, once again, just use another pea-size amount of this, because I don't want my skin to be like super greasy and oily. I just want it to be, you know, enough. And I do the same thing. I just kind of pat it and under my eyes, and around my nose, and around my mouth, just in case, and over my lips. So that's what I usually do for my lips. I don't really use like a separate moisturizer or cream, but I am trying to use up my Laneige sleeping mask, so I've been putting that on before I go to bed. My headband's coming off. Okay. So that's everything for my nighttime skincare routine. Just very minimal, nothing fancy. I'll usually leave my headband on for like the next 15 to 30 minutes just while everything is sort of sinking in to keep my hair out of my face. And then I'll usually put my hair in a scrunch after I take my headband off. In the evening, I keep my hair in a scrunchie just to keep it out of the way. And when I sleep at night, so it's not moving all around and getting even more damaged. But then when I wake up in the morning, depends on what I use. When I use pretty much anything other than the Aquaphor, I feel like by the morning I don't feel anything on my skin. My skin just feels like there's nothing on it. But when I use the Aquaphor, I can actually still feel that moisturizer on there. So that's everything for my nighttime skincare routine. I hope you guys had a great time hanging out with me today. I am going to go get a Diet Coke. It's too hot for me to drink a tea today. I mean, I had one this morning, but it's too hot to drink another one like I usually do. So I'm going to go get a Diet Coke, and then my husband and I are going to watch a movie together. It is 3 p.m., so we still have plenty of the day. So I might film a little bit more, but this might also be the ending. So if this is the ending, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you had a great day, and I will see you next time.